Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. Now, for several years, we've been having debates and discussions, largely in television studios, sometimes constructive and sometimes just to shout at each other, debates on the question of triple talaq. It's a really important question that a lot of people are very exercised about, and now that question has reached the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court sitting specially over the summer to try and take a look at the crucial question of triple talaq. And the Supreme Court has set itself out to determine three specific questions. And the Supreme Court's going to be looking in particular at whether triple talaq is part of the fundamental right to religion of the Muslim community. Supreme Court essentially has set these out for itself. It says these are the parameters that we are going to try and make a ruling on. So number one, is triple talaq part of the fundamental right to religion of the Muslim community? Implication being that if the court eventually realizes that it is, then it may not move much further than that. The court has also said that if we come to a conclusion that triple talaq is part of the fundamental right to religion, we will not interfere. They are also asking whether triple talaq is sacramental and whether it can be enforced as a fundamental right. So all of this essentially means that within a couple of days, we will get some sort of an indication from the Supreme Court as to what it wants to do on the question of triple talaq. Now, a couple of other issues have also been sometimes linked to triple talaq, the entire question of the Uniform Civil Code and the question of polygamy. But from what we understand, and I'm going to get all the legal experts to weigh in on this, those are not areas that the Supreme Court is going to be saying anything about. Well, not right now anyway. But joining us are a range of experts, and we're also going to be speaking in just a short while from Kamal Farooqi, founder, executive member of the Muslim Personal Law Board. But let me just welcome the special guest we have with us. Nalin Kohli is here, spokesperson of the BJP. I'm going to be asking you specifically about the stand that...
Well, you could even ask me on the legal side of it, because...
Legal side of it, and of course also the centre. So I want to ask you to be amicus to the big fight, and you can help us decode some of the legalities.
And
specifically the stand that the centre has taken and where we are headed for. Maria Salim is a member of the Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan. Great to have you with us. Maulana Khalid Rashid Firangi Mahli is a member of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. Thank you so much for being with us. Dr. Chandra Rajan is an advocate. She represents also the All India Women Muslim Personal Law Board. So thank you for being with us. And we have Faizur Rahman joining us from Chennai, founder secretary of the Islamic Forum for the Promotion of Moderate Thought. Can I just, first of all, try and see where we will all agree on what is it that is being decided right now and what is not being decided right now? I sort of gave what I thought were the main issues. Is that substantially correct? So Supreme Court is going to say whether it thinks that triple talaq is unconstitutional. That's essentially what the petitioners have gone to say.
It is going to look into the triple talaq and one form of triple talaq, which is talaq-e-biddat. It's not going to look into the other forms of talaq, which is talaq-a-hasan and talaq-hasan. This is what is made very clear to us, and we are supposed to put forth our arguments only within that scope.
Okay, so the concept of triple talaq, or what you're referring to, is when a person sends a WhatsApp message or just says verbally talaq, talaq, talaq.
Talaq-e-biddat is that in which you give triple talaq in one sitting. Maybe on WhatsApp or SMS or by phone or by whatever means, it has to be within one sitting and in one go.
And that is what the Supreme Court is going to decide, whether that is constitutional or not constitutional.
Absolutely.
Essentially. Supreme Court is not going to be ruling on the questions of polygamy or uniform civil code, or any broader issues are not coming up right
Very
now.
correct. That has made it clear to us today because the Shaira Banu case, which actually spurred all this debate, has come before the Supreme Court only based on this very issue, which was faced by Shaira Banu as a talaq-e-biddat.
I don't want to go into the details and the legal technicalities of the Shaira Banu case. Suffice it to say, she was the person who moved CSC for a ban on triple talaq, and here are the sequence of events in her case. We'll put them up for you. I'm just going to break from the panel just to again bring you up to date, just to elaborate on what was just said. This essentially is what is happening in court. So let me just give you the very latest on what is happening in court.
During the very first hearing on triple talaq, the 5-judge bench of Supreme Court made it very clear that they will examine only if triple talaq is a fundamental part of Islam, whether it is a fundamental right under the religion for them to practice it. At the same time, during the hearing, Supreme Court also said that it felt that it was the worst and most undesirable form of dissolution of marriage among Muslims. The top court is hearing a clutch of petitions on this contentious issue filed by women who have been divorced through WhatsApp. One of the counsels representing one such petitioner mentioned that triple talaq should be abolished as it's not even practiced in several Islamic countries. To this, Kapil Sibal, representing the Muslim Personal Law Board, argued that it is not the legal route but the legislative route which had been taken by these countries to get rid of triple talaq. The Supreme Court, though, did wonder that whether there will be a legislative move on this issue, because otherwise a verdict against it could leave a legal vacuum.
Let me come to you now on the questions that are being asked. Why is it that the petitioners, and there are a number of petitioners, Shahid Abano, of course, Afreen Rahman, Gulshan Parveen, a number of them have actually gone to the Supreme Court. What is the relief that they're asking for, and what is their complaint?
I can talk to you about what we went to the Supreme Court for, and which is also in consonance with their demands. The first is to completely ban talaq-e-bidat as a mode of talaq. The second is halala, to make sure that there is nothing like halala that can happen. And the third, of course, is polygamy, but it is related, but it is more of a legislative matter. Yeah, these are the basic three.
And you're representing a number of people who've come up and said that these are the problems.
Yes, of course. So this petition was drafted after detailed discussions with women in the community. We work with about 1 lakh women, and it came up after this. In fact, we had a study where 92% of the people, of the women we interviewed, said they would want to do away with talaq-e-bidat completely.
Okay, Maulana Khalid Rashid Firangi Mehli, these are issues within the Muslim community, and theoretically and technically and ideally, the court should not have had to get into it. Ideally, these are all issues that could have been resolved within the Muslim community itself. All of those three issues that have been referred to are issues that quite often and many times you yourself and many others, the leadership of the Muslim community, have said that these are bad practices. So why could these not have been dealt with?
First of all, everyone must know that no petitioner has initially gone to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has taken suo motu notice of this particular case, and thereafter the petitioner went to the court first. And the second is that as far as this particular question is concerned, as far as Muslim personal law is concerned, triple talaq is very much fundamental to religion. It is proved by the Quran and Hadith, which are the basis of Muslim personal law. As far as the concept of talaq or the certain people who are misusing this concept are concerned, there are many laws in our country which are being misused by large number of people, but that does not mean that you will finish off that laws.
Sir, the Quran says the lawful thing that Allah hates most is divorce. How is it?
The similar case is with the triple talaq. If certain people are misusing it, already Muslim Personal Law Board has taken certain steps. It has issued a code of conduct in this regard. It had also appealed that whosoever misuse the triple talaq will be boycotted by the society, and we are much more confident that within 2 years, say by 2019, the practice of the misuse of triple talaq will be stopped.
Kamal Farooqi, do you think it is possible for the Muslim Personal Law Board and others in the Muslim community to have taken it upon themselves in the years and the decades that have passed to push for more reforms on areas like this, and then the matter may not have even come to the courts?
Exactly. This is what actually we had started doing about 20 years ago. And we have been talking about, thanks to you, Vikram, in your media itself, I have been exposing those kind of things for a number of time, in fact, that we had come out with a model nikahnama. And we request our parents and the sisters who are getting married, please look into that nikahnama, and this model nikahnama, you can still put in some more conditions about protecting your rights as well as the divorce or the maintenance, other things are concerned. So primarily we had already taken it up, and you see that as far as these Muslims are concerned, Friday prayers are one of the most important prayers, in fact. And in all those prayers, in fact, Masjid khutbah, the preaching by the Imam, we have been talking about the social reform. We have been talking about all those kind of things. And Muslim Personal Law Board has taken upon itself, and not only Muslim Personal Law Board, the other organizations which are part and parcel of Muslim personal law in their individual capacity also have been raising this issue and asking the manfold to be very kind to their wife, because Allah has given so many rights to women, and Islam says that you must protect them.
Right. I just wanted to ask you.
Misuse of talaq has been legitimized by All India Muslim Personal Law Board. If I may please be allowed to read what is the definition which is given by the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, you will understand this. If I may please be allowed. You please look at your Mazmue Qawanin-e-Islami, the book which is published by your board, and the definition of talaq which is given in that, I am reading it. Talaq literally means to remove a restriction. It is to remove a restriction. This means that do you consider marriage as a restriction? This is the first question. Second, further it says that in terminology of Sharia, talaq means to put an end to marriage with immediate or deferred effect. What do you mean by immediate? That is talaq-e-biddat. By using any special words meant for it.
Some of this is going to be obviously decided by the Supreme Court. And this is not. And,
but let us just first of all be clear on what the Muslim Personal Law Board thinks as a talaq. The definition which they have given in their Personal Law Board. They have also gone to the extent by saying that husband can give talaq, but husband also can give talaq through his representative.
Okay, so can I just ask you, Maulana Sahab, before I come to the others, what your stand seems to be is that instant triple talaq, which essentially is what we are arguing about out here, talaq-e-biddat. You're saying it is wrong, but it is still a valid way to end a marriage. You've said Muslims who misuse the instant triple talaq would face a social boycott. But then you've also gone on to say that triple talaq by a mobile phone message is valid. Now, I'm trying to understand how could that possibly be? That can't possibly be in any way laid out in the Quran or the Hadith or anything else. These are new techniques that have come up. How could that suddenly be valid?
First of all, the number of the triple talaq cases are fewest in the Muslim community, whereas compared to other communities. The second thing is that if any person gives 3 times talaq to his wife, it does not mean that the talaq will be declared valid. Or if a person gives talaq on WhatsApp or whatsoever, it cannot be said that it will be valid. Both the husband and wife have to come to the Darul Qaza, and before Darul Qaza they have to put forth their cases. Then only it will be decided that whether the talaq is valid or not.
Centre has taken a really strong stand on this now. Some people will say, yeah, there's politics behind it, bashing the Muslim community and so on and so forth. However, let's just take a look at what the Prime Minister himself has said repeatedly, and I'm going to get your take on this as well. This is what the Prime Minister has had to say.
मुसलमान समाज में से भी ऐसे प्रबुद्ध लोग पैदा होंगे, आगे आएंगे और मुस्लिम बेटियों को उनके साथ जो गुजर रही है, जो बीत रही है, उसके खिलाफ वो खुद लड़ाई लड़ेंगे और कभी न कभी रास्ता निकालेंगे। ये भारत की मिट्टी की ताकत है कि 3 तलाक के संकट से गुजर रही हमारी माताओं बहनों को भी बचाने के लिए उसी समाज से लोग आएंगे। और मैं मुसलमान समाज के लोगों से भी आग्रह करूंगा कि इस मसले को राजनीति के दायरे में मत जाने दीजिए।